What's going on, guys? Back in the KGN today. Got a pretty cool little test here. We actually got sent out to us by the Dirty South Bats. So yeah, we actually get these requested quite a bit. So I reached out to Dirty South, and they were kind enough to send these over to us. They did send them out, so whatever you think of that, but yeah, should be pretty interesting. We got the swag up here first. They did send us the Bravo as well, which is kind of their two popular USSSA bats. The swag is pretty interesting. It's actually a one-piece composite. You don't see that very often at all. So yeah, should be interesting to get in here, see how it swings, go from there.
Is that contact for me to hit here? Like that?
Balance. What's going on, guys? Back in the office now after taking some swings with the Dirty South swag. It's a pretty interesting bat. I actually get a kind of large amount of requests for these bats, the Dirty South bats, for how not small of a company they are, but like they're not Easton or Rawlings or somebody like that. But they do have like a very devout following. Anytime I see a post on Facebook or wherever it is of somebody asking about what bat they should get for whatever age, there's almost always a couple people that always say, try the Dirty South bats, they're super hot, or try this, and I do get the comments on the videos as well. So I actually did reach out to Dirty South Bats and asked if they would be able to send us some just to test out, and to my surprise, they actually did. So these bats were sent to us. So Yeah, it was pretty cool to be able to get these sent to us for review. Um, yeah, this is definitely, I would say, the more interesting of the two. I'm not sure which one is the most popular of their bats. I know they have a few different ones. Kind of their two newest ones are the latest version of what they call the Swag, and then they have one called the Bravo, which is their two-piece composite. What makes this pretty interesting, though, is it is a full one-piece composite. You almost never see that. I'm trying to think of the last full one-piece composite. It wasn't. Didn't that company True make one? I don't even remember, honestly. But yeah, pretty rare. You don't see one-piece composite very often. Um, and I don't really know why. I don't know why that is, if there's a reason we don't see it that often. But I will say this bet was pretty interesting. Um, its weight is, it's, I believe it was 19.8 on the scale, which puts it pretty well in line with other like single piece alloys. Even some of the two piece composites, but a lot of the single piece alloys are Lucas, like I said, always. I don't know if it shows on here, it doesn't, but this is a 2919. And that's usually what Lucas swings, is 2919. And most of the single piece alloys in that range are anywhere from low 19s to maybe right over 20 on some of the really heavy ones. But most of them, like the mock that we recently did and the clout, those were all right at like this range. That being said, Lucas actually liked it a lot. He said that it felt pretty hot, felt very easy to swing. Um, and I would definitely be interested to see this against more like live pitching. Some of those pitchers we see get up into the 60s even. So obviously composite benefits even more from pitch speed in the USSSA space. So it's definitely would be an interesting thing to see. Maybe we're gonna go to the cages again, and we'll put it up against the machine and some pitching speed, or some of our live throwers, and see how it does. This is actually a 2 5/8 barrel instead of a 2 3/4. I know a lot of stuff has moved to that 2 3/4. But it actually feels like it has a pretty good barrel profile for even that 2 5/8. On some bats, for whatever reason, it feels like that 2 5/8 is like really noticeable, or like our old Easton skinny barrel. I forget what is that. That's not a 2 5/8, is it? I can't remember. But it honestly doesn't feel like it's noticeable that it's that much smaller of a barrel. Maybe like ever so slightly, but honestly, I think that if you asked Lucas, I didn't even tell him, and he didn't notice. So I don't think that that's something a lot of kids are going to be like, oh wow, this barrel's way smaller than the other bats, or something like that. All in all, as you guys will see, I'll put them on the website and everything. The exit velocity numbers, even off front toss, were very good, very consistent, upper 50s, and like I said, composite bat off a front toss, so it's not getting that full composite effect. It'll get hotter. And then even into the low 60s, with a few like good hits. We're not talking about like rollover low line drives, like a few that were into the 60s on good trajectory hits. So yeah, I do think that this is a really interesting option for a lot of kids. I think that a lot less kids should be swinging two-piece bats. I think that there's a lot of kids that just simply don't have the power to really be swinging those, and I think a lot of kids would benefit from a lower swing weight. But what makes this really interesting is that it is a composite still. So depending on the pitch speed you're seeing, you'll still get that composite benefit. If your kid is seeing a higher swing speed, it might be easier to time up the ball. And yeah, you guys, I think that this is a really interesting option. And I definitely think that some more people should give this a shot. It is a little pricey. I believe this is $350. So isn't cheap by any means. Dirty South is kind of I wouldn't call them like a boutique, provider, but they're a little bit more niche right now. But they do provide, some. I would say this is a very good bet. I would definitely say that if Lucas went out and swung this in a game, I wouldn't go and be like, is he going to be hamstringing himself here by using this bat? I don't think so. I think this actually would fit a lot of kids, And I think that a lot of kids, kind of just in general, would benefit more from swinging single pieces and even like one piece alloys versus two pieces, especially in this like age range that Lucas is in. This like anywhere from 8 to 10, maybe even 11 years old. You see a lot of kids out there swinging really heavy end loaded bats, and they probably really can't handle them at this point. But yeah, give this a shot if you get a chance. It is very good. I think it's a viable, alternative to your Eastons, your Rawlings, and things like that. I think it's every bit as hot as most of those. The Icon was maybe a little bit hotter, but Icon's also harder to swing than this bat is. So, there is a good point to be made, like I said, about ease of swing. So, yeah, as always, guys, let me know if you have any questions or comments. We will be doing the Bravo here in the next few days. Complete opposite bat, very heavy, very end-loaded swinging bat. So should be interesting to see that one in action. See what kind of exit velocity numbers we can put up with that thing. So yeah, as always, guys, any questions, like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the field.